Bueno. Hoy te traigo un capítulo especial que te va a alucinar. Hoy en Guitarra Viva tenemos a Steve Vai.
Steve Vai es sin duda uno de los mejores guitarristas de nuestro tiempo e incluso de la historia. Un auténtico virtuoso que ha influido en toda una generación de guitarristas y que nunca ha dejado de explorar los límites de este instrumento. Comenzó como guitarrista de Frank Zappa y ha tocado en bandas como Alcatraz o Whitesnake, pero por encima de todo se ha labrado una carrera en solitario que lo ha llevado a lo más alto. Hoy en Guitarra Viva tenemos la inmensa suerte de entrar en el camerino del gran Steve Vai. Hablaremos de guitarras, de su rutina habitual en un día de concierto, pero además hablaremos de la vida con alguien que ha vivido tanto.
Mr. Vai. Such a pleasure. I have a mic for you here. Okay. You want me to help you? Oh, it's okay. You can. Okay, great.
I'm a veteran at this.
I know. Okay, we'll start. So, Mr. Vai, I know you have heard this thousands of times, but you are such a guitar legend, and for me it's very special to be here. So, thank you very much for inviting me and receiving me and giving me a little of your time. So
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So, how is your daily routine on a day like this?
Well, my daily routine is usually different than my daily routine on this tour. Because it's a very interesting touring environment right now for musicians because so many bands are on tour because they've waited for 3 years, you know? So certain things like supply chains and gasoline and finding buses and finding drivers and renting gear is very, very difficult. But my usual day on tour, I usually wake up on the bus. I love the bus. Bus is great. You know, it's our traveling home. And I usually wake up about 11 a.m. or noon, and I meditate for a little while. And then I like to spend some time walking around the town, or if I have a bicycle, I take a bicycle or I take a jog. And for, an hour, just to feel the environment. I really enjoy doing that because it's so different all around the world. You know, you really have to experience various cultures to appreciate them. And just going out into the streets is a great way to do that. So then my day usually starts at 3 o'clock, and I do press for an hour to let everybody know that I'm coming to their town. And then 4 o'clock, we start our premium package. It's called the Evo Experience. And this is something that anybody, any fans could be a part of. And it's fantastic because I sit for about an hour and I just talk. And usually it's anywhere between 5 people and 100 people. You know, we usually cap it at 50. But tickets are still available for an Evo Experience near you. And that's one of my more favorite parts of the day too, because I get to be with the fans, you know? So that's 4 to 5. And then 5 o'clock we do sound check for a little while, hour, couple hours up to doors. Sometimes in sound check I write songs, And then I just get ready for the show. And usually about an hour before the show, I don't see anybody. I have a little ritual, I stretch. I'll do some exercises a little bit. And then I practice, warm up. And then it's the show. And then after the show, sometimes I meet some people, friends, And then after that, we get on the bus and we go to the next city. Just like that. It's great.
So it's totally a great routine. I like the what you say, because you are traveling right now to a lot of cities, and I think that you have the opportunity to meet new cultures, new cities. It's great, and they like you do walking on bicycle. It's great.
It's fantastic because I've been touring for 42 years. And in the beginning, I was 20 and I was traveling the world, well, Europe and America. And I didn't understand how to appreciate different cultures. When I was 20 and I was in Europe with Frank Zappa, I just thought, everything's so different.
Yes.
The food doesn't taste the same, all these things that an American that doesn't have any experience and lacks culture would probably feel. But then as luckily for me, my wife, who I met in college, was very cultured. She just had that in her, she was very classy. And she, when we would go to Europe, then after that, I really started to understand and appreciate all the great diversity. And then by the late 80s, by the 90s, early 90s, I was really, really enjoying touring and loving the different cultures, the food, the architecture, the art, the people, everything, the atmosphere, the collective. Everything is a vibrant experience, And you learn things that you just don't learn in school. When you go to school, you're taught certain things about what's happening in the world. And usually you're taught political things, history and all this stuff. But in all the years that I've been touring the world, I never came across any of that stuff. The experiences that I've had were eye-opening, awakening, and very rich and experiential and cultural and wonderful, You see how people live in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Turkey, Greece, all over. I've been all through Russia, Siberia, China, all through China, and you see how people live. And it's not like what you learn.
Yeah, it's different.
It's very different.
And you have played in every country on the world, or there's any country you didn't join?
Oh yeah, there's countries I haven't played. Africa.
So you haven't played in
Africa? I haven't
Africa?
played Africa yet. I want to. Tahiti. I really would like to play Tahiti. And then there's some countries, you just can't get to. North Korea, you ain't gonna go there.
You mentioned before that 1 hour before the show, you relax yourself and take your time and start warming up the guitar. Mm-hmm. How is your warm-up? Do you variate every day?
Well, there's certain things I do just to get my picking connected, because I've had some physical challenges lately, so I don't just snap into place, So I like to get my fingers just loosened up. I actually do hand exercises, it's very important for the health of your hand, So there's all these cables that run, and I spend a few minutes doing this kind of massage, and then there's this, and there's a method, and then this, and then each finger, there's a whole method. And this loosens up my hand a lot. But then when I go to play, it's like rubber bands. I have to practice a bit, and then they really can start connecting. And then I think about the previous show, and if there was certain things that I might have messed up, that I review. And there's certain things I just have to practice every day.
I have a question for you. So I don't know if I can explain myself. How do you feel when you play guitar? Let me explain. So when I was starting guitar, I was thinking, okay, I have to think about the note, the sound, or the scales. How is your brain working while you are playing?
Well, there's various stages that you go through as a practicing musician and a professional. You know, at first there's a very academic stage. So you learn the scales, and you have to, you know, or you learn the notes, whatever you're interested in. You learn how to bend, you learn how to vibrate, you learn intonation, you learn things that are interesting to you. For me, it was like a lot of whammy bar things. And so ultimately, you want to get to the point where when you're playing, you don't have to think about any of that stuff. It's just part of your arsenal of information if you need it. But ultimately, your best expression comes when you're present, when you're in the moment of what you're doing and you're not thinking about anything. Nothing. You just give what you're doing your full attention. You just give it your attention. There's no thinking. You know, it's just being with it. And then it comes, it flows. It's like, it's hard to explain. When I'm connected, it's as if my brain, not my brain, but my awareness is about a fraction of a moment ahead of what I'm playing. And it guides me. It gives me instant inspiration, and then it just flows through you. But you can't do that if you're thinking about scales and, you know, thinking about things. Any thoughts, they get in the way. You understand?
Yes.
So if I now I'm not a master at this. This is what I work on, because still my mind has a lot of conditioned momentum of thoughts, stupid thoughts that many guitarists suffer with. People suffer with, and they're all based on some kind of fear or insecurity about the future, even if the future is 3 seconds from now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or they're thinking about what are people thinking about me? Am I going to make a mistake? All these things are fearful future thoughts. So when you can eliminate that, when you can forgive all that and be present, then you can hear your own unique inner voice giving you desires to play certain.
You can feel the music inside you, but you feel like the melody you're playing.
Yeah, you hear them. You hear them as they're coming, but just a slight moment before. It's hard to explain. Because when it's an elusive moment where you're listening ahead, and then it's coming out in real time. You know, it's almost an illusion of time. Yeah.
It's like it's just a matter of practice. Play, and feel the music. Try to connect to the guitar. No.
There's different ways for different people, but ultimately, there's a period where you learn. You even me, like when I was working in Violet, like Teeth of the Hydra.
Yeah.
You know, with the Hydra, that I didn't just sit there and become present and be able to play it. You know, it's like, if I could do that, I could win Wimbledon tomorrow. You know, no, you have to be inspired by a vision that's exciting to you, and that's the first thing. And then when that happens, you allow the enthusiasm to guide you as opposed to your fears. So if you allow the enthusiasm to guide you, the sun, the moon, and the stars work with you. Everything works with you, not against you. Nothing is ever working against you except yourself. Yeah. So for something like the Hydra, there was a period of time. Well, first there was the vision. So I imagined that I could do it. I saw myself doing it, and so I knew what I wanted. So, but then there has to be a period where you focus and you give it your attention. You learn the academics. And for musicians, it's like you can be an accomplished musician, an accomplished guitar player, but then decide you want to learn how to play slide guitar and you never played it. So there's a period of time where you have to go through and give your intellectual mind the opportunity to figure things out. But eventually all that has to be in the background and not in the forefront. In the forefront is the automatic hearing and playing of your inspiration, not somebody else's inspiration. That's where everybody goes wrong. They see somebody do something and they say, I want to do that. And then they force themselves to play something that somebody else does in hopes of finding unique inspiration. It just can't happen. You can use your what you've learned from others, and you can play how others play. If you enjoy that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But finding your unique voice on the instrument is different than that.
That's the way to go.
No, not necessarily. It's the way for me. It's the way for many people.
I think the same. I have changed a lot my way of playing, and now I'm looking for me.
That's fine, but for some people, they don't necessarily want to be unique players. They want to just like play like Yngwie or play like Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. There's nothing wrong with anything, because if you have a desire to find your unique voice on the instrument, it will just happen. Nothing will stop it, but you have to have the desire. Most people think that there's this secret formula that exists in order to do that, or they believe that they're afraid because they're doing something wrong. That's the biggest thing that is the obstacle. You understand?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything wrong. If you follow what is interesting to you, you're not doing anything wrong, even if that means you do not have a unique voice on the instrument. That's fine. I know a lot of people, you know. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you are enjoying it. For me, it always felt weird to play like somebody else. You know, I just never felt like I was good enough to do that. And it never made much sense. You know, I learned riffs from all my heroes and everything, and I incorporate them, but you'll never hear me do a conventional tasty blues riff. I just won't do it. I would get sick. You know what I mean? Because
So yes, it's like talking with the voice of all the people, but it's
Yeah.
like
yeah, I'm the way that I'm wired. I thrive on expressing my quirky nature. That's it. When I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm wasting my life.
So, how do you feel? Because you know, I'm from the '80s. You know, that was for me the golden rock guitar era. How do you feel being, you know, that you are inspiration for a lot of guitar players that you inspire? How do you feel about that? How is when you wake up and say, oh, I'm Steve Vai. Oh, this is great. so you know, Salvador Dali says,
I understand.
I enjoy every day of being Salvador Dali. Do you feel the same? I enjoy every day being Steve Vai.
Well, I do. I like myself, but not because I'm an accomplished guitar player. You know, I mean, there's things about myself. The way that you feel about yourself can change through your life. I know it has for me. In the beginning, I didn't think about it. I didn't know that I had a feeling about myself, you know? But I knew that I loved playing the guitar, and I never felt as good as anybody else. You know, every time I saw anybody play, I used it as an inspiration. because I just thought, I can't do that, So then once I joined Frank Zappa and I was doing all this crazy stuff, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm Steve Vai and now I can play. I'm with Frank Zappa and I'm doing all this crazy stuff and now I've arrived. What I felt was, holy shit, man, you got to keep up. You got to get better. You got to keep doing this. It doesn't matter what, I'm working for somebody and they have a demand and I have to keep up. So I just kept up. But then when I joined David Lee Roth's band and I started to become very popular, it was a surprise to me how people started to change. The people in the guitar community, you all of a sudden recognize. And I just didn't take it seriously. I thought they were all kidding. Because I could not imagine, like somebody would come up to me and say, oh, I started playing guitar because I saw Crossroads, or what you did on this record is great. And I'd say thank you, but I didn't believe them. I didn't think that they was, why, it was just that, so you're asking me, So, but when I did wake up in the morning, I was very eager to be that Steve Vai guy that liked going, finding different things. And then the awards and the covers, the magazine covers and the money and the fame started to come in. And at first it was just a surprise. It was like, what is this? People don't know that I really actually suck. This is what was going on in my head, because when one of the signs of greatness is never feeling like you're good enough, because you're always trying to, and people would say, that's amazing. And you go, yeah, but no, it's not. What I have in my head is amazing. And then you get there and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but no, I get, so you when you're on that kind of trajectory, you can be satisfied, but there's always a desire to improve. So I remember the day, though, that I started winning the guitar polls. And then this one guitar poll came out in Guitar Player, which was the big magazine at the time. And I was tied for number one for overall best guitarist with Jimmy Page. And when I saw that, I actually got pissed off. I got mad because I thought, how could they be so stupid as to put me in the same sentence as Jimmy Page? Do you know what I mean? I felt like a complete imposter. You know what I mean? So this is a form of egoic insecurity, because I couldn't accept that there were people that really were moved by what I was doing. I just thought that they just didn't know my secret. And this is something that the ego has in many people, everybody. Everybody has this insecurity that's like, that's for a lot of people, of course, maybe not everybody, but for a lot of people, there's a feeling inside of them, if only they knew my secrets, they would be repulsed by me. So this can cut at the root of the quality of your life. But then, and people would come up to me and they'd say, oh, and through the years, they'd become more reverent. And I would still just be like, thank you, but I didn't believe it. I didn't think that I could have the effect on someone that Tom Waits or Jimmy Page or, some of my heroes had on me. But then as time went on, I started to feel that by me not respecting their sincerity, it was almost like an attack on them, So my perspective changed. And what that turned into, it's not like, it's nice, but okay, I'll say this, but it's not coming from a place that most people will believe it's coming from. It's really nice being Steve Vai. Okay, I'm sorry, I said it. And not because I'm famous and some people respect me and that. I just like me. Right. And as a result, you like other people, you allow yourself to enjoy other people. When you don't like yourself, you find flaws in other people. That's how it works. We don't know that. Most people don't know that. Yeah. So as time went on, I've become more comfortable with the position that I'm in as a guitar hero, where there's a group of people. It's not a big group, but it's a group of people that find inspiration in what I do. So the way I look at it now is my responsibility is to be the best entertainer that I can be, because I'm a service provider. And when people come to the concert, they may come to see me, but it's not like I'm the king. I'm the guy that they came to be entertained by. So it's my job to get up there and give them an experience that they're just not going to get anywhere else. So that's what I focus on. What am I going to do that they are just not going to get any place else? For those who are interested. So when people come to me now and they show respect, my response is, I understand how they feel, and it's a lovely relationship because I don't feel above any of them. So when I wake up in the morning, to get to your question, I don't say, I'm Steve Vai, the rock guitar god, and everybody loves me and all this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a new day. I get to live today. I get to play music. I get to be with my family, whatever it is, And it doesn't mean I don't have challenges in life, but so your perspective changes through life. And that's just where I'm at today.
You know what? We have a guitar channel, and they always ask me about how long time will it take me to learn how to play the guitar. And I always say, your whole life. You understand this, but from your point of view, do you feel that you still have things to learn about the guitar? You made the Hydra guitar, so
yeah.
That's awesome. You didn't take it to the tour, no? To the European tour, no?
Not this tour.
Sorry,
I just recovered from shoulder surgery and I couldn't play it.
Did you recover from it?
I am recovering. I can go like this now. At the beginning of the tour, I could only do that.
You can play tennis. So, Steve, it's totally a pleasure for me to be here. I don't know if there's some advice, additional advice you would like to give to our audience. So,
well, the guitar is a good friend for life. And you can enjoy it, and you can start playing it right away. And you can continue to improve, but you have to follow your joy. You have to follow your enthusiasm. Not necessarily what other people think you need to do, where you need to go. And if you are following your fantasies, you can get into a lot of trouble. Because if you're projecting into the future, when I achieve this, when I have my record deal, when everybody knows who I am, when I'm successful, then I can be happy. That may or may not happen. You don't know. You just don't know. It doesn't matter how I'm going to do it. I'm going to fight. I'm going to get there. We're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to go. You don't fucking know anything. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, you could get there and you could reach all those things. But the belief that they're going to bring you happiness is a mistaken premise, okay? Because if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy then. Maybe for a little while when you win the award, but then it's never enough. You will never have enough. So make it enough now by enjoying what you're doing without any excuses. Just enjoy. That's all I did my whole life. Okay, I love the guitar, and I love coming up with weird things, funny things. I like the energy of it. I like the vision of performing. I had no thoughts of the future. I had no idea, because that's the fact. You don't. You just don't, But I enjoyed this moment, the moment I was in, when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, playing the guitar. And when you can do that, you're successful. That's real success. Okay, and then interesting, everything else takes care of itself without you having to do anything. It just happens. So that's my advice. Enjoy now.
What do you think is the most important on the life? What is the most important thing?
There's only one thing of any value in this world, and it's forgiveness. Because from it comes everything, but not the kind of forgiveness that the world understands. Forgiving the world, forgiving yourself for your perspective of the insanity of the world. When you do that, everything changes. This is the only thing of any value.
Thank you very much, Steve. You have inspired me and a lot of people playing guitar. And now you have to demonstrate that you are inspiration not only of the guitar. So thank you very much for your time.
You guys are doing great work.
Thank you, thank you.
La verdad, empecé esta entrevista un poco nervioso. No todos los días se tiene la oportunidad de conversar cara a cara con un ídolo y toda una leyenda de la guitarra. Y es que, si como guitarrista me impresionaba, lo que más me ha marcado es el conocer a la persona que hay detrás de ese guitarrista de masas, comprobando así, de primera mano, que Steve Vai es mucho más que un guitarrista impresionante. Es un hombre completamente humilde y un referente en todos los sentidos. Después de esto, solamente puedo decir gracias, Mr. Vai.